take a guess at who's bowling these strikes. Pretty good, huh? Well, if I told you it was your great-grandmother, you probably wouldn't believe me. But 90-year-old Ruth Metzger says age hasn't slowed her down a bit.
My average is between 113 and 14, that's all. But regardless of that, I give them a good handicap, that's all I can say.
Even with 2 artificial hips, the Wonder Woman from Costanza bowls here every Tuesday. And while most other 90-year-olds across the country are probably at home baking banana bread, she's here, impressing her friends at the lanes.
And after each hip, she said, I'll be back in 6 weeks, and she was. She had a hard time, but she was here every week bowling.
She's like a hero in bowling, you know, it's something you always want to be, just to be able to do that at that age.
I hope when I get to be 90, I'm just like her.
She's not too shabby a bowler considering her age, but she knows she's not as agile as she used to be.
I don't dare run up for fear of falling. My balance is not perfect. I mean, that's the main thing, which comes with age anyway. I hope I am an inspiration to everyone that's aging, because I think the big problem is they don't stay active.
And active, she is. Pete Turnbull, NCC Sports. When you come to the county fair, there are some choices to be made. You can flip some frogs for some prizes, enjoy some vertigo with the loved one, or how's about smashing up that old car you've been waiting to get rid of? 31-year-old Rick Konasek, aside from being an electrician, has been smashing up his old cars for 5 years.
I'll tell you what, there are a lot of guys a lot bigger than I am. With V8s, I got a V6 and some bald tires, and I see today there's a whole bunch of guys with snow tires and some real hot rods. I could be in trouble, but I'm just looking for the big hits, have some fun.
Today, Rick is in Heat 6 in car number 151. There it is, the green wagon. And there's his girlfriend, Sherry, and Mom and Dad anxiously watching in the stands.
I'm not going home tonight.
They're all in line.
Get her up, don't die. No! No!
Well, Rick didn't get off to a good start. Actually, his car didn't even start. But once it got going, the 5-year veteran knew exactly what to do.
Those are the hits he's looking for.
Now, this might surprise you, but there are actually rules to Demolition Derby. Rick must hit a car once a minute or he's disqualified. And it's these guys who monitor the field.
Got another 5, that's right. Where's it at?
As Heat 6 winds down, number 151 is one of 3 cars surviving.
I think he's doing awesome. I think he's a contender, you guys.
But his undersized wagon just can't go the distance. The Titanic wins this heat, as Rick's iceberg just wasn't sharp enough today. He's out safely, and the 151 cheering section roars his courage. After a long and jarring heat, he's happy to be out in one piece, unlike his car. It's not this time for Rick, but there's always next year. Pete Turnbull, Lake County Sports.
Tonight, the NBA playoffs getting underway in Charlotte. Pete Turnbull is in the house to take a look at the Eastern Conference. Now, Pete, are there any other surprises outside of the Miami Heat that you can tell us about in the East?
Nice jacket, Pete.
You know what, actually, about the jacket, my intern Carolyn, she's sitting right over there. She was supposed to take it to the dry cleaners today. She never did, so I had to go with the sky blue sweater.
Interns.
So, you know,
I think we clash, though.
We do clash a little bit, but hey, that's all right, that's all right. You know, I've looked at this so many different angles and tried endlessly to see who might dethrone the Bulls, and I've come up with one conclusion. The Bulls won't stop winning championships until they beat every team in the Western Conference in the finals.
Oh, baby, I agree.
I can honestly think that, and that is unless Michael Jordan loses his competitive fire, retires after this year, or an act of God, or Jerry Krause tries to tear apart arguably the greatest dynasty in NBA history. Okay, there are other teams in the NBA who might be able to get the rings this year.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. Just making the playoffs is reason to celebrate for the Nets. But that's all spoiled because they meet this guy in the first round. Now, when it comes down to first round, the Bulls are heavyweight champs. Every championship season, they've disposed of teams not worthy. The Bulls own the Nets in the regular season, taking all 4 games, wishfully thinking the Nets are looking past the regular season.
If they lose to the Nets, then they'll be cursed.
What a great challenge, and if you're gonna, I've said this before, if you're gonna do something special, why not do something really special?
To Miami, the revival of a nasty grudge match gets underway tomorrow night. Remember last month when these two teams played basketball? And who can forget the infamous Allen Houston excuse me buzzer beater? It didn't count, and that evened the season series at 2. But expect all defense in this series. Neither team has reached the 90-point mark in their regular season matchups. The key player for Miami is Zoe. He's got to be able to take on whoever the Knicks throw at him now that for the time being, Patrick Ewing is out. He's scheduled to be out for the whole series, but I'm sure he'd like to spoil this guy's ring dreams. From one legend to another, Larry Bird will try to become the first rookie coach since Paul Westphal to take his team to the finals. Working on a franchise record 58 regular season wins, his Pacers will take on the Cavaliers. Now, these two teams split their 4 regular season games, with the home team winning every time. But give the edge to Indiana, as all 12 players on their roster have hundreds of more playoff games under their belt than the Cavs. And finally, Charlotte will take on Atlanta tonight at home. And home has been honey for them this season. They achieved their best record ever during the regular season this year. But they have to face a team that beat them all 4 times this year. One reason. This guy, Steve Smith, his hot shooting in the 4 contest helped to up the average margin of victory close to 17 points. The key matchup is Smith versus Glenn Rice. And don't forget the Mook Man. He's owned David Wesley in the regular season. Yeah, my pick to win the championship again has got to be the Bulls.
Shocker.
Shocker.
Hey, I'm from Chicago, you know. I got to choose the Bulls.
Chicago.
Even though they don't have home court advantage throughout the finals, their 3rd championship in a row back in '93, they didn't have the home court. They played Phoenix. They ended up beating them in 6 anyway, so got to go with the Bulls again.
Bold statement from Pete Turnbull, huh,
That's
Rick?
the Pete man, not the Mook man, the Pete man.
That's right,
Thanks,
Rick.
Pete.
Protesters filled the streets outside NYMO's Syracuse office. A local group called Syracuse Anti-Nuclear Effort, or SANE, are fed up with the continuing problems of 9 Mile 1. The latest problem is a crack in the reactor at the plant, and SANE wants 9 Mile 1 shut down for good.
Something is seriously wrong with that plant. They have to keep shutting it down. Why do they have to keep shutting it down? Because the core is threatened. This is extremely dangerous for our community and for the entire northeast of the United States.
Members of SANE say they have 2 problems. 1, the obvious concern of the damaging effects of nuclear plants to the environment, and 2, actually dealing with Niagara Mohawk officials, who they say are ignoring their concerns. But Niagara Mohawk says they're not ignoring anyone.
It's hard to make a contention that there's some sort of lack of information when the company continuously sends out information to the media through news releases.
SANE says they'll keep on fighting despite any plans NYMO has to fix the plant. They won't be satisfied until it's completely shut down. They say then and only then, fears of a catastrophic meltdown will be forgotten. Pete Turnbull, NCC News. Rescue crews are still searching for the survivors today after a tornado ripped through Alabama and Georgia last night. At least 42 people are dead and hundreds of homes destroyed.
Well, it was hailing and the wind was going crazy, and I pulled over in this guy's driveway. There were 2 other people, and the wind came real hard, and he said, y'all need to get over here in this ditch or come in. So we went in the ditch, and debris was just starting to fly everywhere, and the wind was like pulling my jacket up. I've already changed clothes, and it was just, I had never seen anything like it.
Take a look at some of the damage left behind. Violent winds uprooted trees and flattened homes to the ground. During the twister, people laid over their loved ones to protect them from flying debris. Others tried to escape the wrath of the storm by hiding in their basements.
It's a tragedy of tragedies to the people that have been hurt, harmed, or lost loved ones. I would say to you that you're in our hearts, you're in our prayers.
Attorney General Dennis Vacco says the company charged clients thousands of dollars without providing services it promised. In one case, a woman paid for 6 months of services, but the companion stopped visiting the woman 2 months before the contract ended. President Clinton was in Carrollton, Kentucky today offering words of support for tobacco farmers. Today's roundtable discussion is just part of the president's long battle to discourage teenage smoking. But the president says he's not against the farmers or what they're doing, and he says he won't sign any bills that do not protect them.
And again, I want to say to them, I have no interest whatever in putting the tobacco companies out of business. I just want to get them out of the business of selling tobacco to children.
Well, talk about starting your final approach. Take a look at this. This Cessna plane was coming in for landing when it got stuck in power lines earlier today. It was suspended over 60 feet over a highway before rescuers were able to brace the plane with straps and get the pilot out safely. He appeared to be in good condition and was fit with a neck brace as a precaution. The accident is baffling authorities because weather was clear at the time and there were no other planes flying around the area. Shai Cushing now joins us with weather. And Shai, let's hope Easter Sunday isn't as bad as it was today. It was just depressing out there, really.
That's right, Pete. What is that song? Rainy days and Mondays always bring me down. I mean, it was disappointing out there, as great as it was. But we're looking up, this weekend, this holiday weekend, looks like it'll be pretty nice. So hopefully that'll make people a little happier. Sunday's going to be a good time. If you're going to do that egg hunting thing, this is the day to do it. I mean, maybe later on in the day it might have some showers, but during the day it should be pretty nice. Should be a good time.
So not looking too bad. Are you doing that Easter egg hunt there?
No, I don't think I'll be hunting for anything this Sunday. No.
I think I'm going to head out and, hunt those eggs down.
Good. You've been painting them?
What's that?
You've been painting them at all?
I'm going to have my assistant paint them.
Oh, nice. Nice. That makes sense. That's a good thing.
All right, well, coming up on NCC News, we'll show you why some Colorado skiers are doing a double take when they see who's swooshing down the slopes beside them.